G'day everyone, Brian Roach here from good old Australia. If you're tuning in from anywhere other than Australia today, then g'day to you. Today we'll be interviewing an amazing man who served in World War I, Arthur William Bazley. Baz is an absolute legend of a man. Hope yous enjoy. So Baz, when and where were you born, and what was your early life like before war?
I was born on the 4th of August 1986 in South Yarra, Melbourne. I was the eldest child of both my father, Arthur Edward Bazley, and my mother, Georgina Victoria. I was educated at South Yarra State School and was then employed as a clerk on the Argus newspaper. I served 3 years with the senior cadets and 3 years with the artillery.
Wow, clerk and typist for the Argus newspaper. Bloody good on you, Baz. Now, can you explain what happened in the next stage of your life and what challenges you came across personally?
Yeah, I sure can, mate. So, I was enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 5th of October 1914, where I had to claim to be 19. I then went on to be designated batman for Charles Bean and assist him as a clerk and typist.
You really put those clerk and typist skills to use, didn't you? Now can you tell me, what was it like serving in Gallipoli, and what was your role there?
I went on to serve in Gallipoli and helped Charles edit the Anzac book. Both Bean and I served on the western front of Gallipoli, which was very hard considering all the rain and mud-filled trenches, and all the other terrible conditions we had to deal with. We both served from April 1916 to June 1917.
The next stage of your life was very significant for you, wasn't it? Can you explain what happened?
Yes, it was a very significant part of my life indeed. I got transferred to the RAF headquarters in London. I also made many visits to France in 1918. In November, I was then promoted to Staff Sergeant. This ranks above a sergeant and below a warrant officer class 2. I was very happy about this and grasped it with 2 hands. Staff Sergeant is a senior role combining human and resource management in an administrative or logistic roles. I was also addressed as Staff Sergeant or Staff, never as Sergeant, as it degrades my rank.
So, can you explain what obstacles you then went on to come across?
Bloody oath I can. A year on, pneumonic influenza forced me to withdraw from Bean's mission to Gallipoli. I also went on to rejoin the group in Cairo. I also returned to Australia in May, and I was discharged from the RAF in August.
So obviously, this was another significant part of your life. Can you tell us about what medal and life achievements you achieved?
I was awarded the Meritorious Service Medal, which was initially awarded to Army, non-commissioned and warrant officers who had served for at least 24 years. On October 1919, I married my beautiful ex-wife, Annie Celia Chalk, an Anglican Londoner, at Christchurch, South Yarra, Melbourne. I tell you what, mate, it was a beautiful place to get married.
Your life continued working with Bean. Can you explain what you guys did together?
Bean, I, and the rest of his staff had started to assemble the official history of Australia in the War of 1914 to 1918. We then arrived in 1919 at Tuggeranong Homestead in the Federal Capital Territory, where we were based until we moved to Victoria Barracks, Sydney, in 1925.
What did you have to do with the documentary film Son of the Anzacs?
I was the acting director of the documentary film. I helped to select war artists, to organise the screening and production of the film, and to arrange an Australian wide world exhibition of war paintings and photographs.
So Baz, were the trenches clean, dirty, muddy? Can you explain what they were like to live in and the conditions that they held?
The trenches were really muddy and extremely smelly. Dead bodies were buried quite close. The toilets sometimes overflowed into the trenches, which was absolutely disgusting. The trenches were infested with rats, some getting as big as cats. Many soldiers, including myself, were tormented with lice and caused us a lot of trouble on a daily basis. Just imagine living with that. It definitely was a hard time.
Can you run us through what happened during a normal day in the trenches?
Yeah, for sure, mate. No problem. It was always a very early start to the day. At 5 a.m. we'd have stand to, which is short for stand to arms, meaning to be on high alert for any enemy attack, which is half an hour before daylight. At 5:30 we had our rum ration. At 6 a.m. we had another stand to, which is half an hour after daylight. 7 a.m. we had breakfast, usually bacon and tea. After 8 a.m. we cleaned ourselves, cleaned our weapons and tidied our trench. At noon we had some dinner. After dinner, we had some sleep and some downtime, which is always good for a bit of rest. At 5 p.m. we had some tea. At 6 p.m. we had a stand to half an hour before dusk. And at 6:30 p.m. we had a stand down half an hour after dusk. Now from 6:30 onwards, we worked all night with some time for rest. We did patrols, digging trenches, putting up barbed wire, getting stores, replacement of unit of soldiers.
So obviously you're here in Canberra Hospital now, and you aren't very well. What is wrong with you, and what are the doctors predicting for your future?
Yes, Brian, I'm not very well. I'm in here purely because of old age. The doctors are saying I don't have long, as I am not looking very healthy at the moment. I've already made plans for when I die. I will be cremated.
Thank you so much for your time, Baz. I hope you recover and get to spend more time in the world with us. You truly are a very inspiring man.
Thanks heaps, Brian. I hope you all continue to remember me, and remember all the people that fought for our country. They truly are the biggest legends.
Thanks for tuning in today, everyone. Have an absolute cracker of a day. Brian Roach here, coming out. Tune back in for more Australian war stories later on in the week.